Well, we're very pleased to be chatting today to Ruben Cantu, who is the Executive Director and founder of Elements. We're going to talk about Elements later. We're here at the eBridge Center in Brownsville. We'll talk about the eBridge Center later. But first of all, Ruben, tell us about your story, how you got to this point.
Thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate being here with you and The Guardian. It's an honor. Being here in Brownsville is like connecting back to my roots. My father is from Mexico, born and raised in Matamoros. So he came here at the age of 18. He crossed over, didn't know English, had $20 in his pocket, had an 8th grade education. Through hard work and support from the community and the family, he was able to settle in Austin and then had 3 wonderful children, me being the oldest. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. I'm actually the first one in my high school in East Austin to go to UT Austin. And when I went to grad school, I decided to go back to grad school, I found out that I was one of the very few Mexican Americans who had ever gone through that graduate program at that time, and it had been around for 15 years. I have a master's in technology commercialization, essentially startups. And when you get onto the entrepreneurial and startup space in Austin, I could count the amount of Mexican Americans who are actually in the space. And so I asked, where's everyone at? And they're like,
You're it.
You're it. So I had to make a decision and say, well, am I going to just forget about that and blend in, or are we going to make sure we throw down the rope? So for the past 15 years, we've been throwing down the rope and helping navigate the tech space and helping more founders and entrepreneurs get into this space where normally they would not have an opportunity. So I'm very proud that in the past 6 years, I've served as the executive director and assistant professor at the University of Texas. I run the Office of Inclusive Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and we launched 2 undergraduate programs there, the Prodigy Institute and Wheel Texas, both programs that are 2 years in length that help students learn executive leadership skills, one in product management, the other one in helping support their community, helping launch nonprofits and for-profit companies. Wheeled has been recognized by the United Nations. This past year, they were recognized on World Logic Day for a Promise Award. And the Product Prodigy Institute became national champions last September for the Hispanic Serving Institutions Battle of the Brains, beating out 13 other Hispanic Serving Institution universities across the country as first-time entrants. So we've been doing a lot of great work in Austin, but the goal now is to come back to the roots. Even though I'm born and raised in Austin, Grandma used to live in Matamoros, and my aunts and uncles and cousins are all there. So this is home, and it feels good to be here. But not just that, because, Wayne Gretzky always said, if you want to, succeed, don't hit the puck where it's at, hit it where it's going, right? And so Brownsville ends up being the next boom town. And we want to make sure that we set something up so that we can create pathways for our community here in the Valley so they can be successful as well.
Well, as we're in Brownsville, just repeat that line again for the listeners, the viewers.
Yeah.
Brownsville's the next boom town.
When you do the market research, you start identifying population growth, and you start understanding the age of what the next generation is going to be, what they're interested in. And then you start looking for anchors and institutions. And with institutions like UTRGV, institutions like the eBridge and BCIC, and big corporations like SpaceX. There's a big industry moving down here. And oftentimes, I remember what happened in Austin, we get pushed out. 25 years ago is where Brownsville is about right now. And we actually have a chance to rewrite history. And so instead of having this massive segregation happening and people being pushed out to the outskirts, we might actually be able to help the community afford to stay here.
So you saw what happened in Austin, but for the viewers that didn't, tell us about that disbursement.
I grew up in East Austin, but now it's known as Central Austin. Go figure. East Austin is kind of almost known as east of 183 or east of 130, Toll Road 130. That's where you can afford to live. Prices went up. Unaffordability skyrocketed, and it became the most expensive city to live in Texas. And, just like a boom, it's great, but at the same time, it comes at a cost. And usually the people with the lowest amount of resources are the ones that end up paying the price. And I think we can change that. We may not fix it completely because capitalism is what it is, but we can make a dent in it. And I think if we make this education affordable, we won't just have to have people coming in from the coast. We actually have homegrown talent that can come from here. And here's what we do. This is what we're here to do.
So things will turn out differently in Brownsville, you feel?
That's our hope, But, truthfully, I need the community. We need the community. It's a community effort, right? So we can have this vision of a more equitable city, but the truth is that everybody has to play their part and roll up their sleeves and do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move on to your company, which is called Elements, and that stands for Leadership, Management, Neuro Networks, Tech, and Social Impact, which is a mouthful, so I'll stick with Elements. How long ago was it formed, and what's the mission statement?
Elements is a new company that we formed. It's a couple of months old, but the whole premise of it is to help build the gap or bridge the gap and fill in the gap of young people and helping them get the skills that they need to be successful in the next new economy. And so to us, this is not our first rodeo. Prior to coming to the University of Texas at Austin, we were an acqui-hire. That is, we had formed the Level Up Institute. It was essentially the same thing we were doing now, but it was much more in its primitive form. We had not developed such robust curriculum and training and content. Now, having the laboratory of the University of Texas at Austin, we have the understanding of what it takes to not only teach the content, but really have it be integrated in our students' lives, and then have them be able to take the knowledge and then scale their companies, scale their ideas, move into tech, make over six-figure salaries. Like, it is phenomenal, the successes that we've had at the University of Texas. And the time has come to expand beyond the university and allow it to bridge the gap and expand throughout Texas.
So the program is called Frontera Leadership Institute, 12-week program. You're starting it in Brownsville in August, I think. For the students that are going to be watching this, hopefully, tell them what this is all about. What can they expect when they do the coursework, and what will they get at the end of it all?
We're trying something new, Steve. We are taking the first 2 semesters that we normally would offer at the University of Texas and condensing it into 12 weeks. They will learn about product management principles, human-centered design, agile methodologies, and also lean startup. Essentially being able to take their idea from zero, not knowing anything about entrepreneurship, and getting to a point where they can actually launch it into the market. Now, it is saying a lot for 12 weeks. The goal is for them to stick around and actually continue practicing it and be able to help the next classes. As we build a community of knowledge and then people supporting each other, we can actually start building that startup scene, but in a more inclusive startup scene.
Do you get the sense that Brownsville, the community here, is entrepreneurial in spirit? I mean, I think it goes without saying when you've got families holding down 2 or 3 jobs, and they're having to work very hard, and
there's a spirit about this city, and I think if you've been in Brownsville, you know what it is. There's a spirit of the RGV. It's not a coincidence that they say Puro 956, right? Like, that's who we are, right? So to us, coming here, it's an honor. I think that having us be able to offer our programming is an additive to not only BCIC and the different programs that they already offer for entrepreneurs, but to the community. And knowing that it's available and accessible to almost anyone. We're looking for students between the ages of 18 to 26 years old. Get this, Steve, they don't have to have a full college degree. In fact, I just want them to have some college level experience. They could even be stop-outs, meaning someone not who dropped out, who just had to stop out for other external reasons. We don't care about their major. We don't care about their GPA. This program is designed for them to come in and expand themselves in an executive leadership path and also understanding product management. Most people are like, what is product management and how is that different from entrepreneurship? What's very intrapreneurial, like you can be an entrepreneur inside of a corporation. See, most of our students sometimes will take our program, but they're not ready to fully launch a company by themselves because it's a lot of risk. It takes a lot of money. So they rather like have a space where they can test their ideas out. So product management is basically being the mini CEO of a company. And so we're trying to train the future CEOs of tomorrow, but we're doing it from a heart-centered perspective, and we're training leadership for a community that can actually impact it in the further generations.
And again, what will they come out with? They'll get a certificate, but you're saying that certificate is going to be very valid in industry.
Yeah, so yes, you get the certificate in associate product management. The real goal is for them to be able to be, if I had to summarize it in the most succinct way, exquisite problem solvers. We can throw anything at them. And if we find that they have the grit, they make it into the program, they will become so resilient. You can just keep throwing things at them, and they're like, they know how to prioritize, they know how to navigate complexity, they know how to build teams, they know how to embrace conflict, they know how to manage budgets, and they know how to like think exponentially in an innovative kind of way, where they're not just stuck thinking about like, very linearly A to B, but it's A to anything else. It's quantum. I think Brownsville already has that. Like, Brownsville has this entrepreneur spirit, like we said a minute ago. We need micro businesses, we need small businesses, and we need large corporations. But together, collectively, we can support each other. The issue is who's at the helm and who's calling the shots, and how do we create policies that continue providing a more equitable outcome for many more people who often don't have a seat at the table. That's why we're here.
Do you have any concerns that we're also known for as being a community, a region that has a brain drain, that you might try and train some great budding entrepreneurs, but to make it, they're going to have to go out of our region?
You know, every city has had a collective few people who've said, this is home, this is where we're going to make it, and we're going to make it no matter what. I think that Brownsville already has that. I understand that it's much easier to go to the bigger cities. But knowing now that we have some anchor points like this institution here, BCIC, that we have leadership that's actually supporting entrepreneurship, this is the anchor and the magnet. I wouldn't have picked up my stuff, come all the way to Brownsville, if I didn't believe that the future of entrepreneurship and diverse entrepreneurship is in the Texas Rio Grande Valley. Doing all my market research, I see that, yes, Houston's great. Yes, San Antonio's great. I have family and friends there. Yes, Dallas is booming. But no one pays attention to the Texas Rio Grande Valley, but we do. And we believe that this is where it's at, and we're going to go ahead and plant our flag here too and say, hey, how can we support? How can we roll up our sleeves? How can we help the collective community? So this is our belief. This is what our research is telling us, and we're going to give it a shot.
And what made you choose to plant your flag within the eBridge Center itself? You know,
at the end of the day, everything happens through partnerships and relationships. So I want to recognize the BCIC management team who saw my work already outside of Brownsville, who had been tracking the work for years and said, you know what, we could really use that here. How about you bring that here? And in fact, that's kind of what happened at the University of Texas as well. So I think word of mouth spreads, and I think when you see the results of our students and what they come out to become, people are like, yeah, we need that. How do we bring that here? So we said that this would be a great partnership, because the goal is not just to stay in Brownsville. We're starting here now, but the Rio Grande Valley has a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of different types of entrepreneurs, and we want to be able to help flourish that.
So you've actually been within the eBridge. Your office has been here for just 2 weeks, but have you already gotten a sense of what the feel is here, what the community, this ecosystem that's being nourished here, which is something very new to the valley?
To be at the ground level before the hub above, like normally, probably in 6 months, a year, a couple of years from now, this space we're filming here is not going to be as quiet. It's going to be a lot of activity, and we're going to have had to be able to have contributed to that activity. We're just excited to be able to have this opportunity it's not every day you get this kind of opportunity. And so, yeah, we're excited, and we're excited that the community has embraced us, and we're looking forward to meeting. So if people are watching this and they're like, well, how do I get involved? Please reach out to us. It's so easy to reach out, and we want to talk to everybody. We're going to be doing a listening tour and finding ways how do we create more strategic partnerships in this region.
And so, Ruben, before we went on air, I said I was going to ask you about the importance of small businesses, very important to our region, and also the fungal floor. There's an opening for you.
Thank you very much, Steve. So, I'm a nerd at heart, right? And so I'm always trying to associate different studies of thought, right? And so I am really fascinated about mycelium, and that's the fungal flora. That's essentially the root network that helps connect everything together, and it kind of helps measure the health of the forest, but also connects different resources together. So you can use a mycelium network to carry carbon to each other, right? And so the reason I say that is in Brownsville, there's such richness, there's such rich soil, right? And it has the potential not just to create small businesses, micro businesses, but big businesses as well, all collected together. And what I feel that this program and this institution and BCIC is doing is creating and strengthening the mycelium, the fungal flora, the forest on the forest floor that helps connect all the points in the ecosystem to help it vibrate and give fruit. That's what we're here to do, is that we're just happy to be a contributor to the ecosystem and be part of that.
And your argument is that you can't do it any other way.
You know, whenever you look at monoliths, whenever you look at ecosystems that are focused on one species, they die off. Diversity is what breeds life. This is how me and you are here. There's a beauty in that. And to be able to see the similarities and differences at the same time is what creates innovation. And so it's this convergent and divergent way of thinking. This is what we talk about in class. And so this is what we'll be teaching about. It's like, how do we become more innovative? Well, we actually get more different type of thoughts together and understand from each other's perspectives so we can enhance the idea and evolve the conversation.
Well, Ruben, those are all the questions I had. If I missed anything out, we'll give you the opportunity at the end to tell people how to reach you and your program. But anything else you'd like to say?
You know, there might be some people watching this who are thinking, one, I don't have the talent, or I don't have the skills, or I don't have the background, etc. There's going to be a bunch of excuses. And I would tell them that if you've ever wanted to be in a place that actually embraced and nurtured your development as an individual, first and foremost as a human being, but two, to be an aspiring entrepreneur, we're here and our doors are open. And we want to support you in your development and growth. It doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter your educational background. If you have at least one semester of college experience that you can keep up with the work, we want to take you. And this is a free program, never offered like this before, a $5,000 value for free. And we're looking for 15 to 20 amazing young people from the ages of 18 to 26 that are ready to take their career to the next level. So we just appreciate you giving us a platform so that the community knows that we're here and we're not going anywhere.
And you do know you're going to have a capacity issue before very long.
You know what? That's a good problem to have, and I embrace it. But at the end of the day, if we find a demand here, we want to stay here because at the end of the day, we want to be contributing to a more equitable future for all. Well,
we're very honored and lucky to have you, Ruben. Thank you very much for planting your flag here in Brownsville. How do people reach you?
Yes, our email address is real easy. It's contact us, CONTACTUS at LMNTS.org. And you can go to fronteraleadership.org and apply if you're interested. That's our email address and our website. And you can also contact BIC and their website, and they'll get a hold of us as well.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to follow this with great interest and catch up with you at the end of it all to see how it went.
Thanks a lot, Steve.